So just clicking on. So maybe we've covered some of this stuff already. So in our structure, we'd normally ask for this organisation, what were the needs it had, and I think Chris, these were the words that you shared. I think you've covered some of them right now, but is it a good idea just to summarise them, to summarise the drivers for doing something here?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we have covered some of them, but I think specifically, and I guess just putting it down into a nutshell, if you like, that there was a need to get really timely visibility across all of these different strategic programs and IT programs and projects that span many different countries and different areas working in different ways. And that meant not just finding a way to bring all that data together, but we also had to make sure that the quality of the data was consistent and steadily improved that. And that meant, how is that data collected, who's collecting it, etc., and making sure that was brought up to standard. And then also making sure that, because we had multiple different perspectives in the organization, so we need to look at this data maybe from an IT perspective, but we also had to look at it from a strategy perspective, or from an HR perspective, or from an engineering perspective, and need to understand that. And that meant having multiple portfolios and being able to see the same project in its way across those. So we also had to look at the granularity of the data and make sure that we could have one core bit of data that was the same and consistent throughout, and then roll it up and collate it in the ways necessary for these different views. So that meant really getting a much better model of context in order to drive better governance throughout.
It strikes me that without that information backbone, you're not really going anywhere. It becomes the collection of status, the communication of intent is really slow and unreliable. Sharif, do you have anything else to add to here?
Yeah, actually, if you look into it, the strategy of the organization from the top, which actually broken down into various projects across the organization. And these projects are managed and data collated and bring back to the strategy team in order to make proper decisions. So, even at that time, we were actually following the same principles that we put forward now as big, where you have the governance model, where we actually make, or we don't start a project as its own entity. We start a project based on an offshoot from a strategic viewpoint, where when that project comes in, those things are actually contributing to achieving the overall vision of the company. So how you manage those things? So from the strategic point, when they sit in the strategy board or the board of directors, they have a clear bird's eye view of what's happening across the organization based on these projects, and how these projects are actually helping them to achieve their vision. So once they find that, okay, these projects should not be as part of this strategic initiatives. They move it from there. They say that, okay, you do it as a separate, okay, which is not actually contributing to the overall vision of the company. So you do it separately. Maybe you scrap it, or maybe you do it separately. So that type of vision was coming. That type of focus is coming in different operational units, so that they can also see that they are also a part of the big picture. They are not doing things by their own. They are actually contributing to get the big picture of the overall organization. So that's how you build the brand. That brand visibility is there inside each operational unit. That was one of the key aspects when we look into it now, and try to make it in line with the thoughts of big. We can see that those things were taken care of even at that time. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I mean, we were chatting, Chris, yesterday about the importance of purpose and about communicating it and showing that business purpose is truly cascaded, so everyone knows how they fit. And looks like, yeah, you had this sorted.